So good morning and a warm welcome here from Eindhoven for another Power to Predict live stream. A warm welcome to the people online, but also especially to the guests that we have here in the studio, all from the Nordics here through the snow, which is quite exceptional for the Netherlands, to this location here at Strijp T, as they call it. Today we are going to talk about how to make security solutions predictive ready. Are we there predictive? No, not yet, but there are some steps that we can take. For the ones that tuned in on our live stream last time, we talked about all the AI packages that come to the marketplace. And today we are zooming in on how we get these things to our security installations. But before we go there, and that's especially valid for the ones that we have online, let's look at some logistics. In the unlikely event that your live stream stops working, then please press the refresh button and then it should work again. And also the Q&As. I believe that for the ones here in the room, you have gotten a nice leaflet. You can scan that QR code so that you can also put in questions into the chat via your mobile phone. And for the ones online, you can either also scan your QR code, use your mobile phone, or you do it in the chat box in front of you. Also, for the ones that are not English native, we offer 3 languages. There is this nice headphone symbol on your screen. There you can choose either German, French, or Spanish. That's about it. The questions are going to be answered throughout the live stream or otherwise in the Q&A afterwards. And if there are some left, then we will follow up afterwards and giving you the answers as far as we can. As said, last time we spoke about our AI packages that we brought to the market or are bringing to the market at this point in time. So for the ones that have seen our live stream in October, you probably recognize either this slide or at least the information on it. We spoke about the impact of AI on society, but also especially AI in our video security industry. Why do we need AI? Because we want to give more response time to our customers. We want to have real-time alerts. We want to have more insights because we want to take data-driven decisions. And that is all possible with using AI. And it's getting better by the day, so that also means that we are able to solve more and more use cases. Because at the end of the day, this is all for the betterment of society, but especially also for the protection of people and assets. As said, last time we zoomed in on those different packages and we also showed demos. Today we are going to show you what is needed in order to get it to your security installations. And for that, I would like to ask my first guest to the stage. Anil, you're already standing there, so maybe you can join me here and maybe give him a warm welcome. Thank you. Yeah, Anil, there you are. Eh? So maybe a couple of words to yourselves and then we can dive into the topic.
Morning, Peter. Thank you for having me here. And I'm product marketing manager for fixed camera portfolio. And as you can see, I brought some of my babies here to the stage with me. I have some 3100 series and 5100 series, and later we will talk about 8100 series, and we will show you how we can bring this predictive-ready solutions to our customers.
Yeah, thank you, Anil, and indeed, nice to have you here on stage. Yeah, we said it already, so it's how to make predictive ready. So how are these AI packages coming to the marketplace, and therefore we need the hardware. You already gave it away. We have the 3100 lying here and the 5100, so maybe let's start with the 3100.
Yeah, we can go from small to the big ones.
So what can you say about the 3100s?
3100 series, as you can see, they are quite small in size. They are discrete, and we call them everyday security solutions. So they are optimized for the surveillance in and around the buildings. So we optimize both hardware and the firmware on this for those solutions.
And yeah, the title of the live stream is how to get predictive ready, or how to basically change video security into visual intelligence. So what does it mean for the 3100? What is already on there from an AI perspective?
Yeah, as I said, we optimize it for the building solutions, and of course it comes with IVA Pro buildings packages. All for free, build in the camera, you don't need to do anything extra. It comes in and you can start detecting the people or creating the alarms and elevating your security in and around the buildings.
You put an emphasis on buildings, so may I then assume that also this is specifically designed for security, the AI designed for use cases in and around buildings?
Yes, correctly. The AI also on these packages is designed for the buildings. You cannot upgrade these analytics to perimeter or other things with 3100 families. This is why I say we also optimize the hardware around these solutions, but it's nothing less than our state-of-the-art analytics. you can still get reliable detection, you can classify people or vehicles, and you can create alarms according to your needs. But of course, we know that it's not possible to create alarms for every possible actions. Then what do we do in this case? We create metadata. We always watch the scene, we analyze the scene, and we record what is happening there. And this will help you when an incident happens, and if you want to run a forensic investigation, you can retrieve the video footage very fast and easy. And of course, again, as I said, it's all super easy to use. They are plug and play. You don't need to do anything in the site.
And when you say plug and play, then you mean you're referring to the calibration of the analytics?
Correct. So once you install the cameras, in order to make analytics work, you don't need to do calibrations. This is one of the hassles, and when everyday security is in our concern, we can still achieve it with our state-of-the-art analytics.
You talked about state-of-the-art. So what does the state-of-the-art mean, and how does it reflect, or basically, how does it make these products so good for the everyday surveillance, as you said it?
Yeah. So, of course, in order to have the best AI performance, you need to have the best image quality, and you need to have some products that can last for long terms. And it should be also durable for different conditions. And when we talk about the building security in and around the buildings, we are talking more about controlled environment. Mm-hmm. It can be controlled lighting, it can be controlled access, or controlled climate situations. But of course, this doesn't mean that there is no challenges in those situations. Like in this video, what we saw, staircases, there are multiple levels. And we see that people are not visible fully, even in the scene. But we can cover the whole scene, all the stairs, 3 floors, and we can detect them at a reliable level.
And the detection that I'm seeing here on the screen, or basically the screen's, let's say, behind you, this is all done with a 3100 or a similar camera, and with the buildings, and directly out of the box, so no calibration?
No, nothing is needed. So easy, plug and play.
Okay. Yeah, you have 3 form factors here, a very small one going up to a bigger one. There is probably something to say where you would potentially then...
Yeah, when we say building, of course, it's not only inside the buildings, but around the buildings is also quite important for us, because this is where you start protecting your environment. And here we have the bullet. As you can see, it's quite still small form factor, but it sticks out. It gives you the impression that there is a video surveillance here. Yeah. You are being watched. So this gives you that impression. And it has also built-in IR that makes it useful in open spaces where you don't have lighting. For example, it can be school garden or university campus that is suitable for that purposes. And yeah, of course, they are IK10, IP66, so durable for weather conditions. So it's not only within the building, but also around.
Yeah, so if it needs to be in your face, then you say you're more leaning towards the Dinian form factor that I see here on the right-hand side, and otherwise... And
for discrete and more aesthetic, yeah, you can go for the microdomes.
Exactly.
But of course, we are not compromising from the security when we go with the small form factors, or when we talk about the IVA Pro buildings. For example, with these small little microdomes, we have different lens options. We have telelens, wide-angle lens. With the telelens, you can even detect the people and vehicle from long distance. So this is quite useful when you have entrances or long hallways.
Okay, and zooming in there a little bit more, so what you're saying, on the one hand side, we need to choose the right AI, which we basically made the deep dive last time already, but also the form factors and the characteristics of the cameras are important. What we also see in today's society is that cameras are getting more and more connected to the internet, but also to the cloud, because we want to remote maintain them for over-the-air firmware updates, etc. So that's convenience, so an increase in convenience, but also at the same time, it raises the concern when it comes to data security. So Anil, going back to you, data security. What are we doing with these cameras and the data security?
First of all, data security and cybersecurity, it's our top priority, because what we see today is everything is connected. Before I get on the stage, they ask my phone. I was like, oh, this is how we are really connected. Everything is connected to each other here, and therefore we are also vulnerable. So we have to take these risks minimum and make it as secure as possible. What we show here is the golden standards in the world, showing that we are complying with the all cybersecurity compliance. For example, UL 2900, it ensures that our products are following the highest cybersecurity standards. And if we come to the IEC standard, it is beyond the product itself. It evaluates how we build the products in a cyber secure way. So it evaluates our development processes. What are we doing before we bring it into the market? So that we start from the beginning until the delivery and also the maintenance of the product. Throughout the life cycle, we ensure the highest cyber security.
So for maximum peace of mind, you're saying actually you need to have both certifications, the one more focusing, the UL certificate more on the product itself, so how cyber resilient is it? And on the other side, it's also the process to it, the development, everything you do as a company.
Around the cybersecurity. So when I say that cybersecurity is our top priority, I would not put my name under it, but I will put these two certificates under it because they are all globally recognized.
And to that point, also to have no misunderstanding, it's not that our cameras could not be hacked. It is just more that you are minimizing the risks to an absolute minimum. But if I then understand the IEC correctly, that's also a standard that basically shows that we have the right processes in place if something happens.
If something happens, how we react and how we manage those.
The UL certificate you are not getting without reason, I would say. So I would imagine that we have some standards or some measures built into our cameras that lead to that result.
That's correct. And now we are seeing top 10 measures here. But of course, what we are taking and how we get those standards or how we get those certificates is not limited to these 10 measures, but it's beyond it. But these are the top 10 measures we have been working on and putting in our priority list since 2004. So when we talk about cybersecurity, it's not something we started recently, but we started even before these IoT and all connected devices become so popular around us.
And to ask a question in between, what I'm seeing now on the screen, so the 10 measures and the certificates, that is not only related to the 3100, or is it?
That's a good point. So now we started with 3100 series, but those cybersecurity certification and cybersecurity standards, it's applicable for all portfolio. All our fixed camera, moving camera, all our servers, we take it across all our portfolio. So we don't take it easy.
Yeah, so same measures as we are looking at and also the same certificates as we showed earlier.
Yes, exactly. And when we are seeing those 10 top leading measures, I cannot go all through this. We have limited time, but I would like to say a few words about secure by default. What we mean by secure by default is when we start developing a product, we don't develop the firmware and then try to make it cyber secure. We take it in the core, we build everything around this core value that we bring the cybersecurity, and throughout the development process, we keep the surface attack level as little as possible. And it's not only the processes itself, it's not only the development itself, but it's also about the organization. Our organizational structure enables us to develop those things, maintain it, and also react, like you say, when we have a vulnerability, we have to react correctly.
Secure by default or actually designed actually with data security in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, Anil already said it, so there is a lot to talk about in data security, and I already see here Dorit in the audience sitting there, and she's actually, she's also very invested in the whole data security topic, but it will take us ages to go through all the 10 measures, but a little bit as a sort of giveaway at the end of the live stream, we will also send out to you as a follow-up an e-guide, which also speaks about the data security and the measures that we have in our cameras, so that is something to read afterwards over the weekend or something like that, but that you will get. So let's move on. Yeah, you said it, 3100,
we can move to the bigger ones.
They are getting bigger. Is that also better, or?
It depends how you how you think about it.
I don't know.
But what we say is it's really stick out. When you want to show that your premises are under video surveillance, then you will go for something bigger that sticks out from the premises. It shows that I am there. But of course, it brings other advantages as well. We can put more powerful IR LEDs in these cameras, and we can use bigger optical blocks, which can bring more sensitive images, so that our security operators can see and watch the premises even in difficult conditions.
And you have two form factors?
Yeah, I mean, if you come to the dome form factor, we are more flexible here because then we can have more variety. We can have with IR, without IR, indoor, outdoor, all sorts of things. So we cover you. So we start here with the everyday security, and when we move here, we are in the professional security level.
You say professional. Now I want to understand what does professional mean, and I also want to link it to the topic of the live stream, how to get predictive ready. So let's jump into the AI. Where does the 5100 then differ from the 3100?
So here we can support more analytics that are precisely designed for specific tasks. For example, we can use our perimeter solution here, or we can use our privacy solution that is already comes with the camera, or we can use other solutions like we recently launched our personal protective equipment detection, visual gun detection, etc. And if I talk a little bit about it, I think we still have some time. Yesterday, when we were spending some time with our valuable customer, we were talking about AI. And we were saying that, yeah, it's quite fuzzy right now. Everybody's talking AI, this and that, ChatGPT, every day. AI is doing everything. Well, AI is not only related to my work, but it's also kind of my passion, my personal interest. And recently I wrote my thesis. If those generative AI can enable people to perform certain things, for example, if it can make a novice user to become a software developer. I investigated in my thesis, and at the beginning I thought, yeah, why not? Everybody is talking about it. Yeah. But then I found out, no, it's not that possible. If you know what you are doing, then it helps you to become more productive. But it doesn't help with everything. But what AI does, and what it is good at, is solving the specific problems, bringing specific value, performing certain tasks. And this is why you see a lot of small squares here, because they are all specialized for certain tasks. And this is what AI really brings the power, and this is how we can be predictive in the future.
So what you're saying, and that's also, so in our path of evolution is that we now changed over to IVA Pro, or basically we have models with IVA Pro and IVA. So what you're saying, IVA Pro, and the next step, and also to make best use of AI, it needs to be more application or use case specific.
That's correct.
And that's also why we have so many.
That's right. And also what came to my mind right now when I have the last live stream with you here on the stage, where I said that now the threats are getting smart. But with those specific applications that are specialized in certain tasks, we can outsmart our threats.
Yeah, and what you also said, I believe, and that's also reflected by the slide that we see here, is that on the contrary to the 3100, is that the 5100 also has similar AI on board as the 3100, but also can be extended.
Yeah, this is why we are moving into the professional security.
But we said it, it's not all about AI, it's not all about the software, it's also about the physical capabilities of a camera. So you said professional security, so I would also assume if I start, let's say, interpreting that for myself, more challenging environments, etc. So what else does the 5100 bring to the table?
Now, since we are moving into more robust enclosure with the cameras, we can withstand with more difficult conditions. So we are moving from controlled environment to uncontrolled environment. Uncontrolled lighting, uncontrolled climate, or the access that might be public spaces that anybody can access. Yeah. So this is where it becomes more critical, and you really want to have the better visibility in your areas. Parking spaces can be seen one of those application levels.
I saw something already, yes.
Yeah, and here what we see is usually, we have a few cameras over the poles, and then we are watching all the cameras across the parking area. And here, we want to also utilize our AI capabilities beyond the security. For example, we can detect now LPRs, or we can detect make and model cars, etc., or we can get sub-classification with some analytics that gives more value to our customers. And of course, when we talk about the building security, not every building is the same. Some buildings are more critical, more important, more challenging than others. So this is, again, how we can utilize this 5100 series.
But the camera, it's all about eyes. The AI could be the brain, if you would look at it like that. So yeah, the more we as a person can see, the more we can do, of course, the more we understand. So I would assume that also for a camera, it's also image quality still plays an important role.
Of course, better the image you get, better the analytics perform. And this 5100 series is quite versatile because it has some unique features. I want to point out one of them.
Let me guess.
You are good at it, Peter.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
So this gyro-based electronic image stabilization, it's usually equipped in the long-range cameras. So you don't see this in such segment usually. But what we are doing here is we understand the needs of our customers. For example, next time when you go to open parking slot, look around and you will see that those security cameras are usually installed in the high poles and they are exposed to the wind. So we don't usually talk about the wind when we talk about the image quality. We talk about raindrops, snowdrops, etc. We don't talk about the wind, but wind also has some impact on the image, especially when the pole start to move slowly. The traditional, fully digital electronic image stabilization systems cannot cope with those problems. Why? Because usually those systems check the pixel changes between the frames. And like we see in the video, when it moves slowly, the changes are very small that it doesn't set off by the electronic image stabilization. But when we equip the camera with the gyro-based stabilization, we understand the physical movement on the camera.
Okay.
So we are bringing those high-range camera feature into our 5100 series, making sure that our customers are getting the high-quality images all the time. Otherwise,
so, for my understanding, so if I look at it, and what is then easier is looking at the pixel differences. So if something is moving fast, and that is also what typically is done in the marketplace.
This is usually what we see. You know, the camera is shaking like this very fast, and then you see the image is very stable. Yeah, this is actually the easy part.
That's the easy part. But you say it's more difficult if you actually see almost no movement, the slow movement.
When the frequency is low, it's more challenging. You need additional hardware.
And there you were emphasizing gyro. So,
gyro,
so basically, we are constantly monitoring the
physical positioning of the camera, and then we balance it in our image.
Well, that's interesting, and also a clear difference then to the 3100. Yeah, Anil, we spoke about already the data security. A topic that is also often linked to data security is privacy. So what about, especially if you are in government buildings, etc. Yeah, we don't want Big Brother watching us. That's typically something. So what else? What does the 5100 there from an AI perspective bring to the table?
Yeah, it comes with IVA Pro Privacy, which can anonymize the peoples and vehicles dynamically, so throughout the scene when they are moving. This is important. Why? We talk about the data security, and one of the part of data security is the personal data. And especially in Europe, and what we see now all over the world, the protection of personal data is becoming more important topic. And it's not easy to comply with those regulations. So what we are doing is we are becoming predictive about the future, and we are bringing all those solutions into our cameras already. So our customers now use IVA Pro Privacy for dynamic masking. But this is not a compromise from the security. You can still use your analytics. You can still get your detections and everything.
So that's important. You are keeping the privacy at the highest level, but at the same time, your analytics keep full functioning.
Exactly, that's correct. And you can also bring some hierarchy here. For example, you have blurred streams and also without privacy masking, depending on the access level, so that we ensure that the personal data is protected, but also forensic evidences are also protected.
Now, and if you want to see how this works in real life, of course, you can watch back our live stream from October. And I believe for the ones here in the room, they already got a sneak preview yesterday. So you are already ahead of the game. So you had, I believe, a live demo yesterday of privacy. So I see already some heads here nodding. So that seems to be confirming. But of course, feel free to watch back the live stream or simply give us a call and sign up for a demo. Yeah, Anil, thanks for the 3100, the 5100. You already said save the best for last, so there is an 8100 lying there. But before we go there, let's maybe quickly summarize what we have talked about. So 3100, 5100, from an AI point of view, so from a predictive readiness, they both offer IVA Pro Building.
built in, all of them.
If we then look at the long list of other AI packages, they are
we move
supported with the 5100.
Professional security, this is where 5100 goes in.
Cybersecurity, no difference.
Across all portfolio, no difference.
Privacy masking, dynamic one.
We go in the professional level.
Yeah, build quality.
I think we don't need to talk about it. Bosch say itself.
And if you have questions in this regard, so we can do that afterwards, of course. And for the ones in the live stream, if you have questions, keep them coming. We will either answer them now directly or at the end. So, Anil, thanks for that. We go to the next one, but before we do that, let's quickly have a look at our commercial video on the 8100. And then in the meantime, Kieran, where are you? Let's ask Kieran also to the stand, because we invited for today the product manager, which literally is now saying something about his new baby. So let's have a look at the video. And Kieran, let's come to the stage. So, Kieran, welcome to the stage.
Thank you.
And,
hello, everyone.
Oh my God, I believe I counted. I believe it's roughly 2.5 minutes. So that shows that there is a lot to say. If you would have told me before, then maybe I would have skipped this video. But anyways, maybe a couple of words to yourself.
Yeah. So my name's Kiran Pillai. I'm the product manager for intelligent fixed cameras.
Yeah, and now, now I'm going to challenge you, of course, because now I've watched this. I went through the 2.5 minutes together here with the audience, and of course also the audience online. But there were lots of things that were shown, and I'm sure that you're diving into it. But one thing stood out, and that was, of course, at the end, the ultimate fixed dome camera. Kieran, please explain.
Yeah, thank you. But you shouldn't challenge about facts. It becomes very easy then, huh?
Okay.
Right. So what do we do? A few years ago, we launched the 8000i, which is the current product. It's a good product. We've introduced this game-changing concept of motorized pan-tilt roll zoom, or PTRZ. It's helped installers save almost 75% of time in the field, relating to lower costs, for whether it's for installing, recommissioning, whatever it is. And we've now picked up and run with it. We've got a lot of good feedback from our customers, and we've showcased that in this product. We put it in this product. We now come with the FLEXIDOME 8100i. We've improved on the camera setup. We've got a simple 3-step installation process, which we've continued with. We've got in auto calibration to make calibration easy. We then have moved up from the CPP 7.3 or the Common Product Platform. We've upgraded to the CPP 14, and that opens up a whole lot of opportunities, whether it's all the analytics that you saw previously or spoke about. Also imaging, of course, it is a camera. We've got a lot of improvements in imaging. And while we were at it, we've also improved the design aspects for more environmental challenges. Also brought in more cybersecurity, updated to the latest cybersecurity. We have a few customers all across the world who have end users who are from the US, and you need to meet their standards as well. And that's why we are trusted. We meet the NDAA, TAA as of now.
Okay, you said it, facts. So let's take it up a notch in that respect. But first of all, before we dive into the criteria that make it the ultimate, that's what you're saying. Let's have a look at the portfolio, like also Anil did. So what is the FLEXIDOME 8100 series offering?
Right. So I need to start off by saying that something I picked up from the past: technology should be as simple as the box it comes in. Yeah. If it is full of technology and you cannot use it, there is no point having that technology. So we've strived and made those improvements, and we've got in the range. So with the 8000i, we had a non-IR camera in 2, 4, 6, and 8 megapixel. We had a non-X series and an X series, which means you have Starlight X, HDR-X. I'll explain that in a bit. We also had wide and tele. So we've brought all of that in the 8100i. So the 8100i has the non-IR. And now we've launched a new product line itself in the IR range as well, again with the 2, 4, 6, and 8 megapixel. And we will have the same Starlight X, HDR-X, which is the X series, and the non-X series as well with this.
And I see, next to the nice shiny 8100, I see some other shiny things there. Looks like awards. That probably has to do with the past and the 8000.
Yes.
Something specific that stands out that you say, because I hear you say, people already liked the 8000. So where are these awards for?
Yeah, so these are basically the recognition for the improvements, not only in product design, but also in terms of the actual value add that it brings to the customer. So it's not just perceived value add, it's actual value add. You are saving time on installation costs and recommissioning costs. You don't have to go to site. If you are connected by the cloud, you can do all your upgrades, firmware upgrades, recommissioning, whatever. You can do it remotely as well. So that's basically what this was concerning. And now we, like I mentioned, bring this to the 8100i. One thing I missed out is the IR range of these cameras. So we now have the non-X series, which comes in 30 meters, up to 30 meters IR range, whereas the X series goes to 50 meters IR range. And by the end of Q1 next year, we will also introduce a new large sensor variant, so 1/1.2-inch variant in the 8 megapixel.
Okay, and you say IR, I missed that. So is it a correct conclusion that in the 8000 series we didn't have an IR version? You talked earlier about listening to customer feedback. So this is based on customer feedback?
Yes,
IR
it was one of the loudest feedbacks that we had. We were missing an IR range.
So now it's there?
Yeah, it's definitely there.
Okay,
yeah.
but okay, I see still awards, 8000 already being awarded. So can I say then the best became better?
Well, the best became the ultimate.
Oh, okay. So, but then let's continue, because I liked the other statement that you made was about, it should be as simple as the box you put it in.
Yeah.
I hope that I'm not offending any logistics people here in the audience, because I know that there is also a lot of design work going into boxes. So, but okay, what do you mean with that? So what did we do here now with the 8100 that makes it as simple as the box it is in?
Yeah, so let's start with the simple installation process. So apart from the 3-step installation, which we continue, like I mentioned, we've added now auto calibration. So straight off the box, out of the box, this camera can already classify objects, whether it's persons or vehicles. For simple building applications or perimeter basic applications around a building scenario, you don't need auto calibration. But for specific challenging scenes, that's where this comes in. Now, auto calibration in itself with Bosch is not new. You already have the vehicle-based auto calibration. You need an IVA Pro traffic license for it. But we've now introduced the person-based auto calibration that comes inbuilt in the camera, and that kind of enhances the IVA Pro parameter.
So what you're saying, and let's do some fact checking here.
Mm-hmm.
So you are saying that for some use cases, we still need calibration, no doubt about it, especially if it is getting more challenging. So let's also then take away that misunderstanding that some people make us believe in the marketplace that, forget calibration, it should be out of the box, it should already be working. I heard you say, Anil, earlier, out of the box.
Now, but we are moving in a different segment again. We started with everyday surveillance, we said professional, but now we are moving into more critical places.
You are then saying, if you have more challenging scenes where you have distance detection, which needs to be accurate, etc., where you want to really minimize the false alerts, which potentially could occur, there is where you say their calibration is needed, but that we can make as simple as the box by using or offering auto calibration.
Yeah, so I would say that the applications where you don't need auto calibration is a very small subset. At the end, if you're doing auto calibration, you are improving. So in this case, if you're using it with the 8100i, you're improving your sensitivity by 20%, and you're reducing false alarms by more than 50%. So doing auto calibration on a scene is great. The whole point with analytics is calibration has been a bane. It's always caused problems. If you had calibration which is incorrect, leads to false alarms, you have frustrated installers because they are getting called back into the scene or at the site, and at the end, the customer just switches off. With this, if we make it so simple that it's a single-man job, so all you need to do is walk in front of the camera in the field of view, and it will automatically pick up, and you can then verify as well. It allows you to verify pretty similar to what we do for traffic. And that kind of is a one-man job. If it is an installation where there is already people moving around, you don't even need to go and walk on the site. So it's pretty easy to do.
Yeah, and it almost sounds repetitive, but if you go back to the last live stream, one of your colleagues, Boudewijn Kieran, was on the stand, and also there he was already showcasing that this was the one-man job. Yeah. So also there, watch it back and you see how...
It was even in this challenging, very challenging environment.
So also where person-based auto calibration and how it works and how one person can simply do it. Talking about AI, because calibration is of course linked to AI, so we already started with the 3100, 5100, now at the 8100. So what does the 8100 bring to the table when it comes to AI?
Right, so this is a pretty versatile camera in itself. So we spoke about how you can save cost of installation and commissioning, but this camera also comes with IVA Pro building spec and the IVA Pro parameter inbuilt in it, also the IVA Pro privacy. And when I say IVA Pro parameter, I mean the new AI-based IVA Pro parameter. So this camera in itself pretty much takes care of almost 100% of your security-related aspects. Now, if you want to go one step further and you want to make this bespoke to a particular application or for some kind of business analysis, you can go for all of those analytics which you saw there on the screen. So for example, you could go for IVA Pro PPE for improving the safety of a site. You can go for appearance search. I'm given to understand there are more than 300 cases of children missing daily at an airport. It's very easy to find based on the attributes there.
Yeah, because there you can base yourself on extra criteria that you can search for, making it easier to pinpoint one individual person.
Yes, otherwise what you're looking at generally up till now was a small child. If the classification is done or you're going through a lot of video, with the appearance, you already know where the child was lost, and you can start from there and just do a search. It's very easy now.
We already touched on it in the first part with the 31 and the 5100. Let's also not eliminate the image quality. So I already saw it in the video, but also you spoke about it earlier. So what did we do on the image side? What are the improvements?
Yeah,
a couple of notches?
Well, let's have a look. So analytics, we can talk about it, but if you don't have a good image, you don't have analytics. So imaging is, of course, at the end of the day, the key for all these kind of things, technologies that are developing. So we have done quite a few improvements. So if you look at the screen now, the video that we're talking about is about the wide dynamic range. So traditional wide dynamic range, you have two exposures, a long exposure, a short exposure, which you superimpose and send across as a stream. Because of the long exposure, you generally have a motion blur for any fast-moving object or relatively fast-moving object. You already have the motion blur. You also have vignetting because of the superimposing which you do when the motion is happening in itself. With HDRX, we are able to get two readings out of short exposures, and therefore you see much more clearer without any kind of vignetting or motion blur. So that's HDRX technology that we have brought into this camera.
Okay, but that's one point.
That's the first.
So
yeah.
Does that make it the ultimate already?
That's the first of being there.
Okay.
In steps.
Let's move on.
Right, so this is a new technology that we launched with this product. It's called dark boost technology. So what we do here is we try to improve the details in shadows. A lot of crime, for example, happens in relatively dark areas. As I said, this is a comparison of the current 8000i versus the new 8100i with improved imaging. So there is a lot more detail, especially in the darker areas.
When we were working with Kiran on the product launch, and like he said, this is a new innovation we brought, we were not aware of it. And we had colleagues in our meeting from the US, they are native speakers. And when they heard about the first time dark boost, they were like, what's dark boost? Are we making darker? And then when we saw the video, it's not that way.
Then they understood. Yeah, of course, never start arguing with a native, and we can, of course, beg to differ. We are not real natives, but anyways, let's not go there. Whole different live stream.
I would say it is a good point. We take all inputs seriously. Yeah. So what we've done there is we also provide now a slide bar for the user or for the installer to actually set based on the application. So depending on how much you want to improve the dark area, you can now use the slider to select.
Yeah, you know, and I'm also looking at detail because I think, to make one statement there, Kiran, I think you left something out at the beginning, announcing yourself as the product manager of the baby that you have in front of you. You forgot to mention that you're also a model.
I'm trying to be, yeah.
Ah, okay. It's a side job. Okay, let's move on. I heard you talk about X series, Starlight X.
Yes, so there are two parts of imaging, low light imaging. I think Bosch is known for what we call as Starlight or low light imaging. It has been an industry standard for quite a while. Starlight is generally associated with Bosch low light technology. We launched Starlight X with the 8000 eyes, but now with CP14 upgrade, you have more signal processing power and therefore better low light as well. So we've improved the sensitivity with the upgrade. We've also improved the signal processing. So here what you see is a comparison of Starlight versus Starlight X. You see there the person on the right of your screen is already detected, the image is in color, you've got the classification of the object, whereas on the left, it is a monochrome image. You can hardly see the person, there's a lot of ghosting, and he's kind of picked up only when he's coming close to that spotlight there. This, I think, is shot after midnight. Yeah. Yeah, so that's basically the improvements that we have done with Starlight.
And a nice example of what we said at the beginning, at the introduction, more time to respond, because quicker detection, more time to do something with it.
Correct. And if you are looking at it from an application perspective, for example, you are following somebody in low light, you want to know what the person is, how would you describe the person? Yeah. Invariably, you would describe based on the attributes. If you have a color image, you can still have a chance of following up that person.
It also proves that better image, better analytics. So we should not neglect the hardware
That
quality.
is also something that we should not underestimate. But you also talked about intelligent IR, split IR.
Yes.
Yeah, so what does it mean?
Now moving, so what we spoke about up till now is there across both the camera ranges. With the IR, so traditional IR cameras, the IR is inside what we call the bubble or the dome. When the IR comes on, there is a lot of chance of reflections. So what we've done is we've moved the IR to the periphery of the camera, to the outside, so that we do away with these reflections. The video we show here is the advantage of it when used with a new accessory which we launched with this camera called the hydrophilic bubble. So on the left, you see a traditional camera with IR inside the bubble. When you spray water on it, replicative of raindrops, you see the reflections of the IR. It is not that usable an image. With the hydrophilic bubble, you have the water moving out, slipping out of the bubble straight away, and you continue to have a usable image there. So this is the case whether you're using this with just rain droplets, also with small amount of dirt. And the advantage for customers, if they are using this, is you have a prolonged interval between your time to kind of maintain the site.
Yeah.
So again, reduce cost for the installer.
And now, okay, to come to the last fact, as you would call it, Starlight X, HRX, and a new model that you were talking about that comes around end of Q1 2025.
Yes.
So 8 megapixel combined with all these technologies. What do we get then?
Yes. So again, over here now, because we are using a large sensor, which is more sensitive, more pixels, so you have more details as well. So in this video, again, we've compared a Starlight with a Starlight X, and we've done like a time lapse which goes across from 3 in the afternoon to almost 3:34 in the morning. And what you can see here is the image on the left by itself. If you show a customer, he'd be more than happy. It's a brilliant image. But now we take that one notch further.
Let's see. I see our people already nodding. Yeah, I think they probably agree with you, what you say, but
yeah.
it can be better.
Yeah, it always can be better. So we continue to strive to make our improvements. So if you look at, for example, the top of the roof over there, you have more detail there. Also where the car was parked, there was more detail there as well. So that we will launch beginning of or end of Q1 next year.
Okay, thanks for that. At the beginning, you said, it needs to be as simple as the box that's put in.
Mm-hmm.
We already showed or talked about the person and also the vehicle auto-calibration. But can you also show now the real deal when it comes to the physical installation?
I can do, but I haven't quite stopped with the imaging yet.
Oh.
I have a few more things to tell you about.
Oh, now he's taking us up on the challenge. Okay, then
well,
let's...
Delighting a customer. Huh? So you have this intelligent camera, traditional IR. If you switch on an IR, all the IR LEDs are on. We know about intelligent IR technology, and that is where the intensity of the IR LEDs change depending on a person walking towards the camera so that the image is not washed out.
Yeah.
Now, what we've done with this camera is based on the lens position, only the necessary IRs come on and at the necessary intensities. So this is already there. It's not all IRs being blasted out. Why this is important is you are making the best of the power requirements there. On top of it, if you are not happy with it, for example, if you have installed this probably at the corner next to a shiny surface, yeah. It's reflective and it spoils your image. In that case, you can go to manual mode and you can individually control which LED you want on or off and also the intensities.
Also again there for the image quality at the end of the day and also then in the favor of the analytics.
Correct. Now,
okay, but now you go, huh?
Yes. So one thing which I didn't mention earlier when we talk about ease of installation is how we've improved the installation concept. So again, feedback from customers, please don't change form factor because we've got to change the mounting. It's a lot of costs. So what I have here is the existing 8000i non-IR camera, and I'm going to replace this camera with that IR one.
Okay.
So it's pretty simple. I'm going to just unscrew the cameras.
Product managers cannot do it always alone. They always need a product marketing manager.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw Anil was getting a little cold there, standing and not moving.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All the movement.
So that's the camera out. Unplugged, twist and click. So just want to show you, that's the mounting plate. It's the same exact mounting plate that I'm using. And I now go for the IR camera.
Maybe before you install, can you also show the powerless reset? I mean, you don't need to reset it, but...
I will show it after the install.
Yeah. This is quite cool. feature they introduced now. And the remote commissioning feature is quite useful because what we see in especially energy and critical infrastructure vertical is that when our customers have remote locations, it's not easy to go there. And usually because of the safety reasons, they don't have power when they are building the site. So what they do now, our installers, they go to the site, they install the cameras already there without power, they make all the connections, everything, and then they leave. Traditionally, they have to go back to the site when it's time to commission. But right now, after the installation, they can just...
They can afterwards do it remotely.
Remotely, everything. So this is also another aspect that we can save time and money.
So I see that, Kiran, in the meantime, without your help, Anil, you're ready. So
that was fast.
Should we switch to the screen of the camera?
Yeah, the camera is just booting up. But what I wanted to show here is this is how simple it is to change out a camera, upgrade a camera from an 8000 to the 8100i. The thing Anil was talking about is unpowered reset. So those who have used the 8000i know that because it's a motorized PTRZ concept, it takes more than a few steps to basically do a simple reset. With this one, we have new patent technology where you can do unpowered reset. So if a camera, just take it out, press a button, it knows that you've pressed the reset button, and as you put it back in, it'll reset on its own.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, in the meantime, I saw that, but that's of course what happens with live streams here or live television, is that your browser gave a problem, so that's something that you need to correct.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the camera.
You're waiting for it. So should we already switch the screen, or?
Yeah, you can do. I can just to wait a couple of minutes till a couple of seconds for the camera once it's completely booted up.
Minutes.
Yeah, so once it's booted up, we can do. What we've also done is, along with the hydrophilic bubble, by the way, you can use the existing accessories. So here I've used the same mounting plate.
Yeah.
Anything that goes behind that mounting plate is the existing. However, for the IR camera, we've also launched a couple of new accessories. So one of them is the weather protector. So as you can see, to stop any reflections, we've got the inside, which is black. We've got a painted white to take care of any yellowing because of UV. It's got a protective ring that basically covers the IR so that it stops any reflections of this as well. So that's one of them. There's another one which we've done also, which is like a sunshade. We've done that as well.
Yeah, you're good to go. Let's.
No, not yet.
Yeah, this is what happens, and then we are standing here.
Let's do some site troubleshooting.
I'm also doing a demonstration of Murphy's Law when something has to go wrong.
Yeah,
of course.
At least it's powered on.
And that's already Wednesday today. It's not Monday, so hey. Anyways, what we could do in the meantime, so tell us when you're ready, then maybe Anil, going back to you, while Kiran is trying to fire up the 8100. There is a question coming on the 8100 and the IK10. We know from the past that the 8000 one was IK10 plus. What can we say about the 8100?
8100, it comes with IK11, which is a new definition of the standards. Before IK10 plus, it was more or less everything above 20 joule. So right now, it is more robust, it is more reliable, and with the IK11, we can also stick out from this. Before, if it was 21 joule or 50 joule, whatever, it was always 10. IK10 plus, but now we really bring it to the next level.
Okay, now we switch to the screen of Kiran, so let's see.
So in the meanwhile, I have opened the web browser again. I have gone to the lens wizard.
Now the first row needs to smile, of course, because now you're on camera. Okay.
Yeah, but we've again introduced some, again based on customer feedback, we've tried to improve the GUI as well. So with the 8000i, you had to click on these arrows to do a pan tilt motion. Pretty much you would have a high chance of moving beyond the field of view. We've now got these sliders in place. We've also got grid lines that you can put in. This is to get a perspective of the horizontal or vertical, when you are setting up, you can have it in black or white. You can increase the number of cells that you want. You could do all of this. You could also click to change the field of view a bit. It's just a simple one click, and you can change the field of view. You could also drag or snap drag, just select the field of view you want, and it would automatically focus there. So this is how simple it is to do.
Okay, then thanks. Yeah, we have to speed up a little bit now because you took a little bit more time than expected, but
Sorry.
okay. That's also what can happen live. Let's go to a quick summary. We will come back to the use cases later on, and then I want to still answer some questions that we have from the audience because that's also why we do these live streams.
Yep.
So I skipped this one. A quick summary between the three camera families that we have looked at. Is it the whole portfolio? No, it's not the whole portfolio. You will also get information afterwards showcasing the whole portfolio. But looking at these three newest camera series, you see here the biggest differences. So from an AI or IVA Pro perspective, they all have buildings. The 8100 takes it a notch up with the parameter. Other AI packages are supported by the 5100 and the 8100. Either there is no calibration needed for the building spec, and otherwise it's equipped with the auto calibration like in the 8100. They are all as cyber secure and compliant as
across all portfolio.
Across all the cameras. Where you said already before, Kiran, there is this NDAA 889 compliance and the TAA, what also the 8100 brings to the table. You have privacy masking, dynamic privacy masking in the 5100 and the 8100. Remote commissioning, of course, is also something that then at least the 8100 brings to the table.
Electronic image stabilization. With the 8100, you have a field selector, a crop selector, where you can select the field of view.
So extending what the 5100 already has, and then, let's say built to last, I think we don't even need to discuss that.
Yeah.
So then, in a nutshell, what I think you guys have proven, and thank you for that, is that we are delivering predictive-ready solutions. So they are all capable of running the latest IVA Pro, which is application-specific, as you pointed out, Anil. They are all secure and cyber-resilient, and they are also resilient and robust. So let's now, for the last 3 minutes of this live stream, and also, of course, if you have here in the audience questions, you can also ask us afterwards. We are not going anywhere. So let's have a look at some of the questions. The bubble, the new bubble that you showed with the water drops. I think people were inspired by it because they are asking now, do we need to reapply the coating after a while?
So by default, of course, this depends on the kind of environment you put this in. So typically, these kind of coatings would last for over a year. Officially, that is the statement. But we have had a similar bubble, which we tested on the roof of our building for the last 2 years. It still works fine.
Okay, so that would mean that you would say normally it's after a year that you need to reapply it?
Yes,
It
generally
depends on
after a year,
Yeah.
after a year, you will start seeing the effect of the coating wearing down a bit.
For example, in Middle East, when there are a lot of suns,
Of course,
it may tear
sun
apart
and
easily.
water ingress, okay. Then you also convinced with regards to the person-based auto calibration. So is it standard in all products, or in which CPP platforms can we find it?
The person-based auto calibration will come basically wherever you have the IVA Pro parameter. The new IVA Pro parameter will have this. So with respect to the 8100i series, it's there on all the cameras, irrespective of which CTN or resolution, doesn't matter.
But if I would go for a 5100 and I would extend it with the parameter pack, then I would also
then you'll have it there as well, yes.
Okay, so that's good news. Yeah, and although we maybe chose the wrong word, but anyways, there is a question about Dark Boost. Will Dark Boost be available in the future for the Dingyan 7100?
Yes, because when we talk about common product platform, we are looking at a particular range, and you will get generally the feature set across the product platform. So it will be there on all our high-value products.
And although the next question one, thank you for that, by the way, Kiran, and the next question is not that specific, so I take it across the board. So when will the dome with IR and telelens be available? That can be related, of course, to the 8100.
8100.
Not so sure if it is.
No, we are not going to introduce here.
So then I give the question
in
to
the
you,
8100.
Yeah, so the dome with both the wide and tele, they will be available starting end of the month. You can already place your orders, by the way.
Okay.
But yeah, I think you can speak to your local sales representatives, speak to them about the product, try it out. I'm sure you will like it, you will buy it. These are already available.
Okay, thank you guys. This brings us at the end of our live stream today. There are some more questions, but as I already promised, we will answer them also afterwards. And for the ones here in the room, hey, feel free to fire the questions at us after the live stream. Thanks for watching. As said, you will have a follow-up email where we also share the materials that we already were mentioning during the live stream. Thank you, Anil. Thank you, Kiran, for sharing your insights. See you next time. That will be, by the way, next year. And before you go, maybe you can also give us a rating how we did. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.